Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you're having a fantastic day. As always, of course, shout out to the 19. So we have to talk a little bit about Angel Reese. And yeah, I am going to say some positive things about Angel Reese, and there are some not so positives, but it's kind of wild. I'll tell you what, I didn't deal with the second game of Unrivaled. Oh man, it was rough getting through the first one. It's not good basketball, folks. It really isn't. I hate to say that, but it just isn't. But there were a couple of things that were eventful. And first, and it sounds so weird, it's expectations, I think, have gotten so low that there's over the top praise for Angel Reese making a few layups. That being said, she probably did have what was her best game on the court, period, including maybe the WNBA. Now we can get into why because of 3v3 and more space. She had 22 points, 21 rebounds, shot 10 of 19, so she made some layups. Had a couple of nice passes. I will give her that. There was one time she actually kicked it out for a three from inside the post, which was nice to see. But there's still a lot of issues there, but it did show some progress. So all credit to Angel Reese for that game. And one thing, which is why you get the 21 rebounds, to Angel Reese's advantage in 3v3 with more space is other players aren't willing to run down balls. I give Angel Reese, and I've said it before, a ton of credit for that. She will go run down the basketball. The WNBA has been exposed, again, for big, slow players that can't jump and they just wait for the ball after it comes off the rim. Meanwhile, Angel Reese goes and gets the ball. So they're going to have to learn that they can't do that anymore. And they might have to actually have some fundamental basketball skills where they turn around and they box out their opponent to make sure they can't get the rebound. But so I want to go through just a little bit, just give you an idea of how she played. And I want to talk about some other things too, because it gets a little wild. It gets a little wild. Now, I'll tell you what, if you have seen some other videos, I'm not as upset about what people are focused on at the end of the game. I've got another issue I want to talk about, but all fairness to Angel, she did some things really well. So we're going to go through about a minute of this, if I can, just to give you an idea, because there's a few things I want to show. And see, again, right there, that should never happen. That should never happen. She should not have been able to slip in for that. And again, that looks very, very awkward, but it did go in, but it's still very awkward. She is playing passing lanes very well. Again, I think exposing a lot. I mean, like this, that's a terrible ball to throw. Great. I think it looks a little awkward, but that's a nice play by Angel, but that pass was terrible. Should have never thrown it. So they're going to have to wake up. And this I like. This is good court vision. She got her head up right away. Lexi Hull makes a layup, so I really like seeing that. That was a nice play by Angel. Again, good hands by Angel, but that was a terrible play. She had the space for the shot, and then she runs into it, and then that, right? That's the kick out that I liked. And then once again, can we maybe put a body on her and box her out? See, then we got the missed layup. So she did some good things last night. I'm going to give her credit for that play, and that is the part that she should be celebrating. But it's Angel Reese; she can't help herself. And like I said, a lot of people are talking about her behavior after the game. We will get into that in a moment. But that is not really the disappointing part for me. The disappointing part for me was, well, we'll get that in a minute. I just want to say that. Let me just say this about that. She had a good game, right? 10 and 19, 22 points, 21 rebounds, double-double. Any player would be proud of. I mean, for once, box score completely working for her instead of against her. But what I didn't like, this is the big thing I didn't like, and it was during the game. It was during the game. There was a clear charging foul on Angel Reese, and it was called on Angel Reese, and she would have fouled out. This was toward the end of the game. I think I at the time rose because of that weird play to 11 in the fourth quarter, or play to a certain score as the winning score. The team winning after the third plus 11 is the winning score to the fourth. I think the Rose had 68 at the time, and the winning score is 72. So near the end of the game, and it was going to foul out Angel Reese. Now instead of taking it like a pro, because it was absolutely a charge. She got away with a bunch earlier. Instead, she does the whole twirling her hand in the air obnoxiously. By the way, to be fair to her, I'm getting sick of seeing that by all these players now. Every time there's a damn call they don't like, they're twirling their finger in the air. It's like the soccer players pulling out the imaginary yellow card all the time. It's obnoxious. It's like she's trying to cast a spell on the ref to change his mind. Look, players disagree with calls. I get that. That's normal. I'm not going nuts about that. Although I think there obviously are levels to what that looks like, and trying to show up an official with body gestures, which is something everyone in the stands can see, as opposed to having a word with them no one else can hear. That's kind of where you usually get yourself in trouble. But here's the big problem I had. Storming over to the coach and screaming in her face and demanding a challenge and acting like a petulant child, that is a problem. And that is, if I have it, that is right here. So you're going to see the foul here, and then you're going to see what she does when she goes over to her coach. So there's the charge. There's the twirling. She's going right over to her coach. Look at this. Look at that. Stomping her foot, clapping her hands, yelling in her coach's face to get that. And then guess what? Guess what after that? She's wrong. I mean, the coach probably challenged it just to get out of her personal space. Because Angel was wrong. The call wasn't overturned. That, to me, that's the unacceptable stuff. That's the stuff that's got to be cleaned up. And I'll say that about any player you can have. I mean, there's just absolutely no reason. And that is, again, a maturity level thing. And I know a lot of people say, oh, she's only 22. Yeah, to a degree, but she's 22. Do you understand what I'm saying? She's a professional athlete. She's 22. She's gone through 4 years of college. She's been out of college for almost a full year. She's an adult. So, if you're going to challenge a call like that, maybe check your magic wand first. Make sure it's working. No amount of theatrics are going to change the rule book. It is a really, really bad look to act that way toward your coach, because again, that looked like something a 6-year-old would do on a youth team when something doesn't go their way and they have emotional control issues. She's the only person on the planet who didn't think that was a charge. And like I said, maybe it's because she got away with some earlier in the game, but that was my biggest issue right there. Now, I just want to show you what a lot of people had a problem with. And I get to a degree, and I'll explain that. This is after the game. For those who don't know, Lunar Owls have a specific winning victory celebration, and Angel Reese decided to mock that. I don't know if we have sound. She decided to mock that, which she's going into the dressing room, but she's doing that with to the fans as well. I'm torn on that. Like, for me, there are certain things you do, and then certain things that cross the line. Celebrating your victory, I'm 100% on board for. When you get into the celebration becoming maybe mocking or taunting the opponent, I know it gets into a tricky gray area. It does, because it's like, how much is too much? So I'm not thrilled with making it about the other team in that way like she did, but I'm not going to lose it over it either, And then, but again, her biggest enemy is herself. She gets stuff like that. She does the victim playing now. We're going to play a little bit of the post-game press conference right here for a minute for you as well. I think I have it here. Let me just play a little bit of this. Listen to what she says.
Hi, Angel. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
You just mentioned you're one of the youngest players here. The Notre Dame basketball team is here. That was just you a few short months ago. There's so many girls today wearing Angel Reese jerseys. How does it feel now that you're the girl that people used to look up to?
Yeah, super inspiring. It's so much I can say, but I think for me, to keep going, it's hard. It is hard. To live my life isn't easy. And I don't want to get emotional, but
right away goes to victim. Instead of talking about how appreciative she is and how she understands what being a role model means, what role models meant to her, my life's hard? Really? Really, is it hard? By the way, stop saying all the time. Please, please stop doing that. That drives me crazy. Not just her, anybody. I mean, this is ridiculous. Always playing victim. Always play. It's and you could. So that's my point. It's in her head. She's got to stop talking about this type of stuff. Stop the self pity. This was a chance to celebrate a strong performance. This was a chance to say, "Oh, it's so cool to see kids in those jerseys. I really embrace being a role model. I know how important it is. Such and such was my role model as a kid." You do stuff like that. You don't go, "Oh, my life's so hard. It's so hard." I mean, that was boom right away. My life's so hard. At this point, she has more hard life speeches than career double-doubles. I mean, it's absolutely wild. And we won't even get into some of the other stuff off the court that I don't like. But look, her teammates won't say it. I will. It's the kind of behavior that gets old fast. Someone close to her, friend, mentor, anyone needs to pull her aside and explain how professionalism works, how to be a professional. Seriously, now people get really angry. She could start hanging out with Caitlin Clark for a week just to see how a pro actually carries themselves, conducts themselves, answers questions. Oh, man, she definitely needs to have someone sit down because she's got two options. She can grow up, embrace the spotlight the right way, or keep making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Because again, with past behavior and right or wrong, a lot of people really focused on that post-game celebration where she's mocking the other team, and that's all over everywhere. And again, for me, to be fair, I kind of like, either way. I mean, I get it because there eventually is that line. I don't like mocking other teams. But the big issue I had in the behavior was the game and the way she handled things with her coach. That I have a real problem with. To get over in your coach's face and be screaming in her face like that and stomping your feet and clapping your hands. Are you kidding me? There's just no reason for that. But I want to end this on a positive note. Shout out to Ben Daniel who sent this to me. Wait, this is Locker Room. I'm sorry, I didn't even want to do that one yet. And I think I have to not play the audio on that. And then this. Now, the reason I want to play it, one, this is something that you could say, yes, this is kind of funny. Because for those who don't know, hey, the Eagles just won the Super Bowl. C.J. Gardner-Johnson was big on this after the game with BTA, because as you know, there was a lot of talk about the Chiefs absolutely going to win this game. The Eagles got picked against every game in the playoffs. The Chiefs were going to three-peat, and there's no chance the Eagles had to beat them. You know, they had three-peat jerseys made up, and of course, they got absolutely dominated in every aspect of the game. And BTA, I believe C.J. Gardner-Johnson actually had shirts made up with that BTA belt too, backside. And so this is Angel. I found this funny, to be clear. And that's why, if Angel can get it together, she can have that charisma to be more a bigger star as a basketball player if she continues that growth than just the influencer stuff, because she can have that in her. Because she's taking off the belt, folks. Taking off the belt, right? There we go. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a little bit of funny. She's playing off what just happened with the Super Bowl. Good for her. And then that was the same thing. And I think I'm going to not play the audio here because of some certain words, but that is what she's writing on the board. I don't know. It's hard to see, but she's drawing the, BTA, shall we say, in a way that I'm glad we don't have this angle. And again, that's locker right there in the locker room. All bets are off. I don't even like media in the locker room. I don't even like that this is on video. When they get to the locker room, let the athletes be the athletes, man. Let them have their celebration. Let them do whatever it is they're going to do in the privacy of the locker room. But I'm going to leave it there. Kudos to her for the game. Again, got some issues with that behavior, I thought, with the coach. That's the big one to me, more so than the post game. But she's got to clean that stuff up. But we will see. We will see if she can translate this into the W in, a couple months at this point? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of this stuff? What do you think of I'll even separate it. What do you think of the after game? And what do you think? What are your thoughts on that in general in terms of what athletes do, and what's that line? What's that line that's crossed in terms of things like celebration or even, arguing officials, what she did with her coach? That's the big one for me. Let me know your thoughts. Is Angel Reese her own worst enemy, by the way? Let me know your thoughts on that as well. Thank you so much for checking this out. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and I will talk to you later.